Todd, are you drawing me?
Can I see it? You Jokerized me.
I'm having some fun there with my little Todd. Recently, someone asked me what were my favorite DC multiverse figures to date, and I have many, but I figured why not just roll it all into some of my favorite McFarlane figures throughout the years. I've had so many. Some of them I've sold. My favorites I've kept, and that's obviously why they would be in this video. Now, I never really got into movie maniacs, and if I did, I sold them because NECA made better versions. And speaking of NECA, Randy Falk worked for McFarlane. People at Four Horsemen worked for McFarlane. So regardless of how you feel about the man, he's very influential. He's kind of started the adult toy collectible market. I know some of you might not agree. It just is what it is. Let's just look at the fun aspects. I'm going to start with Spawn. I'm going to go into DC Multiverse. And then I'm going to go into like random movie stuff that I do have and video game stuff. So let's have some fun today. Top game! Yeah. You and me, baby! Top game! I can't take it anymore! It's Top Games!
One comic book thanks to you. So I started this company to make the toys that you asked for.
Spawn, Violator.
I hear the competition's flying around. They could be any place.
They're cool, awesome.
Tremor, Overkill, Medieval Spawn,
And they come with comics.
Nice toys, kids.
Nice try, guys.
Spawn from Todd Toys. We're out to plastic.
So right off the bat, you're not going to see a Spawn in this wave because, I don't know, he has made other Spawns, and those Spawns in the beginning kind of lost their charm, whereas this clown hasn't lost his charm. And he does that goofy thing where he, you flip the head and the Violator head is there, and there's something so odd and cool and weird and strange to have a pretty good sculpt for a toy made in the 90s that is still, at its heart, a toy. And I always like the real hair. I always like little touches like that. So he hasn't really made anything to really be this kind of toyetic, so to speak. And then we have Renegade Spawn, who is just simply a really good sculpt that actually holds up. The eagle's kind of wonky, but there's a lot of good sculpt work and paint work for almost 30-year-old figure. And even this had like a gimmick where this arrow kind of is spring-loaded and you could shoot it, which I don't know why. It's funny. If as you've seen in that commercial, he kind of was like pushing toys to the side and saying, these aren't toys. Well, if they weren't toys, why did you still have play features? I guess to still appeal to kids if they wanted to get them. But we got them for the sculpts, we got them for the paint, and these two didn't disappoint then, and they don't disappoint now. Here's the Max, the Sam Keith comic, and it was famously on a cool cartoon late at night on MTV. I didn't read or really watch either, but that's how I am. I don't need to read a comic or even watch the show. I'm a toy person, and I love this design. A lot of people like the articulated one that I forget the company that has made it. I like this better because it looks more like that cartoon image and the hunched over sculpt. I know he doesn't articulate. This plugs out. Almost ripped it off his freaking head. I kind of don't need him to articulate because the character, the articulation, I mean, maybe if they did it now, it'd be kind of badass. What the hell am I talking about? And of course we have the Poacher. The Poacher, I think he's redone in some form or fashion, but it didn't look as good as this. It is such a freaking, I don't know why I was so fascinated by these bones on this rope when I was younger. I thought it was such a nice touch to have like real rope. I think I gotten this figure 3 times because every time something, this isn't my original, these limbs have broke before and I got them cheap on eBay. Little minions for the max here. Something about this poacher figure, and I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. This is many people's favorite McFarlane figure. Maybe because it's an anamorphic character. People like animals, obviously, like with the Ninja Turtles and Thundercats. I would really like a mega figure with some articulation. You know, you still want to maintain that integrity of the sculpt, so you can't go crazy. But I would love for him to redo this as a mega figure. And speaking of figures, I would like for him to redo. I know Toy Biz did one that was pretty good and was articulated. It came with like pit Build-A-Figure pieces, but man, this really captures the way Savage Dragon looks with the real scrawny legs and the huge upper body. If we don't get it, this is my go-to to just stand there. I mean, it weirdly has some torso cut, which has been around longer than I thought, but it doesn't do a damn thing. I love this piece. This is old school McFarlane, baby. Paintwork and sculpt. You're not going to see this anymore. I mean, NECA definitely brings the heat. But this is, when people say, hey, McFarlane used to actually paint his figures. He did, but were they really figures? This thing barely moves, has thigh swivel for some bizarre reason. But still, I love this McFarlane piece. I hope that he will come back to Savage Dragon, or just anyone would, really. It'd be fun if Mezco did one, or Haya, with some cloth goods on them. Here's another one I wish he would redo. Creech. I love that screaming head in there. I got this at EB Games for $5. I lost one of his little guns here. This is such an impressive piece, from head to tentacle to toe to the base. Has some weird slight articulation. Once again, what's the purpose of that? He kind of like has the girl giving him head. Makes no sense. I don't really dwell on things like that. I really wish this would be a mega fig, and I really wish it would happen soon. I don't even know what the hell how good the comic was, what the hell the character was about. If you can leave a comment briefly, please do. Love this piece. What the hell's going on outside of here? Some weird screaming. Let's move on to some actual Spawn stuff. I don't care how you feel about John Leguizamo. I don't care how you feel about the Spawn movie. Both are debatably shitty. What's not debatable, in my opinion, is his performance in that movie as Clown. And I also, this is what motivated NECA to become NECA, was stuff like this. Look at this ugly bastard. Look at him. I love this little thing. You can get them for real cheap on eBay. I'm talking like $5. That will blend right into a newer Clown. Could use a wash. I know he's done other clowns in more statue form that have much more detail, but this does have some articulation. You can pose him, move the head. This is a great piece. It's not that much. It wasn't really talked about that much. I think because he put those big guns that I don't like it, because it caused this big ugly thing in the back, and it beefed up the price. I think he should have just had him in a little nice box for $30. He would have been more popular. He would have sold more. I really think that big packaging with those stupid guns kind of ruined the release of a really detailed, nice, in-between figure and statue. I like this guy. Okay, we have what I call the Amazon Spawn, because that's pretty much the only place you could find them. And we have a medieval Spawn that I did repaint. And let me tell you something. This sculpt in this damn medieval Spawn is one of last year's best sculpts on the market. There is so detail upon detail upon detail. I know this is bending. I know there's some wonky stuff. He uses rubbery, more cheaper. He uses a cheaper plastic, and that's just to keep costs down. If NECA made this or Super 7, this would be $45. In fact, NECA does make this. It's called the Dungeons and Dragons line, and they are $40. So this was a $30 figure. It's beautiful. This is why I tell you guys to repaint, get into repainting. And it's not because, well, I shouldn't have to do someone else's work for them. It's not about that. It's about having fun and fleshing out and adding to the hobby you already invest in. Let's move him to the side. Like I said, I call him Amazon Spawn. This is, I don't like the chains. They look cheap. I always thought about just ripping them off. He has enough articulation to be an action figure. Man, cars are whizzing by. I'm going to have to close the door. I didn't want to. It gets hot in here. It's nice out. You can't get him in all the poses, but you can get him in enough poses. He's very clean. People have bought Max Bird capes for him to really elevate this figure. I still like him. One of my favorite McFarlane figures. I know this kind of peg warmed, but I think it was because of the price. Really cool to see a big, monstrous, ugly, grimy, demon crazy figure at retail, at Target. Say what you listen. You could say a lot of things about McFarlane. Reuse, cheap, slacks on paint, doesn't give you the characters he wants. But this guy has put vehicles on shelves, big monsters on shelves. And that's what it's about. Taking a risk, you know. This is a lot of tooling. This is when he was doing more original stuff. And I'll be damned, man. That's big, impressive. This does have paint on it. This has detail paint. It's a big, heavy bastard. Really cool to see this on shelves. And I had to get him. And here we have my 2 years ago or last year Gunslinger Spawn on a medieval Spawn series horse. This guy had like a rider. I got this at GameStop with the rider for like $10. I really think this horse suits this gunslinger well. I know he resold a horse with gunslinger and all this stuff. He kind of wanted to get a lot of use out of this mold. And I do have the one that you don't pose. It's like a comic book cover. But man, this is cool as hell. He's on the tall side. I get that. He doesn't even scale with others. He's even towers over most other Spawn stuff. But just kind of get a horse from him, throw him on the shelf, and forget about it. You have a really amazing piece. Max Bird also makes like a leather coat for him if you really want to flesh this out. Really love this piece. And let's talk about some like miscellaneous Spawn / McFarlane, stuff from that era. I guess there will be some Spawn in there. Just some random stuff I picked up on sale that just looked cooler than anything else on the shelf at the time. This is like early 2000s. A lot of this stuff I got at GameStop for cheap, and we'll look at that now. There was a short period in my collecting life where I just went for stuff that had a good look and could sit in your DTOF, whatever, with some good lighting, and just be a striking looking piece. And I still have pieces like that around. And here's two of them. Sam and Twitch just came together. This was the Art of Spawn series. He infamously did one where like Spawn is hanging from a noose, which is really risky, really controversial. That's like the grail of this line. I got this for $5 at GameStop, and it's something else. You got Sam smoking like a whole pack of cigarettes in one shot. Really cool. I keep saying really cool. Like McFarlane is like taking me over. Really nice. Let's stop saying cool. Really nice set. Would you believe this is Dorothy and Toto? Would you also believe that this was sold at GameStop? Any Get Smart fans, he used to say, would you believe all the time? This was at GameStop, and he had this Twisted Wizard of Oz series. I actually had all this whole line with the Cowardly Lion and the Tin Man, Scarecrow. I just use them for customs and wild stuff. This is nuts. This is the gem, because you don't see provocative stuff like this at retail. Loose Collector makes provocative stuff, but it's overpriced and only on BBTS. This is wild. I also got this at GameStop for like $5. Look at the paint punched in. Look at the detail. It's nuts. I wish I could get my wife to wear something like this, and I would probably look like these two. Yeah, that's Toto somehow. One of these two is Toto. Look at his butt. Look at it. Wait, look at his butt. Oh my God. I really like the Austin Powers franchise. Here's Fat Bastard. He used to be able to talk, get in my belly and all that stuff. You know, the first one's the best. The later two got kind of over the top. But this is just a crazy sculpt. This is nuts. I mean, it doesn't really pose much, but you know, what the hell do you need Fat Bastard to do? You know what I mean? Love this. And here's my little Nicky that's in the back. This is the Beefy from Little Nicky. You put water in it and it pees. It's just cool that he always, you know, Little Nicky was things made for adults. You know, little sculptures. And the fact that he made it so this thing could pee, knew his audience, knew that if you liked a damn Adam Sandler movie, you probably would want to do something goofy and dumb like that and have that pee like on your girlfriend at the time or whatever. You know, it's all about fun, but still having these great sculpts. Jesus. What am I going to move on to now? I'll move on to, let's get into DC Multiverse. I know people are sick of Batman, so let's just get the Batman stuff out of the way. This kind of got me really into the line. This literal Bat Cycle, this Dark Knight's Metal Batman. This is just a badass piece. This is nuts. And this only cost me, I think the Cycle was $20 and he was $20. Not bad. Not bad at all. Beautiful piece. Highly recommend. There's not much more to say other than this was kind of nutty to see on shelves. You know, we kind of get desensitized because cool things come out and cool things come out. But to see a bony Bat Cycle on toy shelves at Target back in 2020? Pandemic days, baby. Really cool, really fun. Love this set. Okay, last Batman talk. This is my favorite Batman figure of all time. I love the blue and yellow, love the gray. Love it, love it, love it. It was almost my figure of the year last year. Got beat by Warduke by NECA. This White Knight Batman, I don't even know anything about. I heard this book was really good, worth the read. I don't care about all that. I care about the figure. The design is so freaking unique. Really a nice, striking looking figure. Very, very different. And I talked about him recently. You know how much I like that figure. So let's just move on. These are my 3 favorite DC Multiverse Batman figures. 3 very different characters. There's Big Chongus, of course, Captain Carrot. Even people that don't really like DC Multiverse bought this guy because he's such a unique, oddball thing. And he's very, really well done. There's sculpt work over sculpt work over sculpt work. Fantastic. Deadman still remains one of my favorite pieces. Got him like 2 years ago in February. Haven't looked back. He's sleek. I love this collar. Love the spirits coming out of his back. A lot of funky things going on, but really elegant. And then Owlman is like a film noir kind of look. Watchmen Owlman kind of look. And that's what I like about him. I like the goggles. I love the feathers. I put some dry brush, some steel silver over them to flesh it out. Really like these 3 completely unique and different characters. 2 sort of recent pickups. This was earlier in the year. Listen, I know that Storm Collectibles Lobo is superb. I have him. I like this one better. I like the head better. I like the outfit better. I like the way the Storm Collectibles things are kind of separated and unique. The elbow joints are real kind of, I know people complain about pins, but Storm Collectibles has some weird shit going on. This is cleaner looking. I'm telling you. And Plastic Man, I just love this goofball character. I wish these two were in a movie together. Love these two. 2 of my absolute favorite DC Multiverse figures. Let's move on to some more. I love this beauty. This Wonder Woman. The only slight gripe I have is I wish sometimes he wouldn't use these shoulder washers when they're not necessary. This would have been so much more elegant if he just put the shoulder, the shoulder and the arm right to the body, make it more seamless. Sometimes you don't need all this stuff. When you keep that in, it looks so much better. And her head sculpt is pretty, but it's kind of soft. You don't really see a hard line of detail on the nose and around the eyes. But other than that, she's gorgeous. Look at this. If you were at the gym and you saw a girl like this, you would probably get thrown out of the gym for staring too hard. It's a gorgeous figure. Sometimes you have a toy that you can be attracted to. And I'm not trying to be weird and get into sex bot talk. I just mean you're attracted to the beauty of it. And I can't describe it in any other way. Say what you want, baby. Say what you want. One thing. I did do some paint work on him. I did add them little flowers. But even without that, this is one of the best sculpted figures I have ever bought in my almost, I don't even know how many years. There's so many levels of detail. My favorite Swamp Thing, one of my favorite figures. You know, sometimes you'll have a figure and years will go by and you kind of forget how good it was. This is one that every once in a while, I just put them on the table, put them closer to me, and just stare and appreciate every little detail on this guy. Must own, even if you don't like DC Multiverse or don't like McFarlane. That's impressive. If you like toys, you like good sculpt work, buy this figure. Killer Croc and Bane, listen, they're closer to being statues than action figures, but you can get them in a few poses. They're just impressive. They're big, hulking, impressive pieces of plastic with just dynamite sculpt work. Is Bane too big? Yes. Is Killer Croc the video game version? Yes. Are they bad figures because of that? Nope. Okay, why are these three here? Well, this is my favorite slender speedster buck. This is my favorite, like, mid-size, middleweight, 185 to 195 pound sculpt. And I do like the texture work in these suits. I talked about that before. And this is my favorite, like, NFL running back or middle linebacker buck, like 210 pounds. These three bucks, underused, very nice, very sleek, elegant, with some crazy good sculpt work. Underrated. This is the newer one from the 2-pack. Underrated, fun. And that's going to wrap it up for DC Multiverse. I have done other videos, but these are a bunch of ones that I haven't really talked about. And I hope I expressed in a short way, why I really like them. Let's move on to some random stuff and we'll get out of here. I think his DC movie stuff is a little underrated. This looks just like that Shazam kid. Something, what the hell's his name? I don't know. Looks just like him. Nice buck. That Arnie is a good likeness. The Hardy Bane is a good likeness. I really think they're underappreciated. I think they just come and go. Not a lot of pics, toy photography are taken of them. I don't know why. These are really fun pieces. I never thought I'd get an Arnold Mr. Freeze. And I never thought I would get a Tom Hardy Bane again. I know Hot Toys has made him, but he's here. He looks good. I'm happy with these figures. And a few other things to talk about. I just want to do one more odds and ends as I look around the toy room, and I promise it'll be the last set of figures, and you guys can hopefully comment and like and subscribe and tell me how wrong I was. And you guys really never do that. There's always a few people that just really hate McFarlane, and I don't know why. If you could tell me why and it makes sense, let me know, because with me, I don't hate Super 7, I hate the price point. And with McFarlane here, the prices are never crazy. So if the price point isn't crazy, if he's not trying to milk you don't have to buy them platinums and gold editions and grayscaled figures. This guy was $20. To build him I wanted the other figures in this set. you know, let me know. Let me know your thoughts. I want to get into some miscellaneous stuff that I got recently that I also really like. This new Warhammer figure I picked up last week. Ton of paint, ton of detail. They raised the price by $5, but he's giving you more accessories. This guy also came with 2 guns and this sword, this spiked club. Good paintwork in there. You see that this is beat up. You see some brushed metal over black. This is kind of old school McFarlane as we've seen in earlier. If we go back to the Savage Dragon I did, this has that amount of paint detail. This is pretty good. And I don't know if they said it, Warhammer, I forget who owns that studio. Maybe they had a talk with them. I don't know. I just know that this is a step up in paint quality. And I will get to my last figure of the video. Now, I don't know if it's because it has that new figure smell. Just got this the other day. But this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite Spawn figure. I love the piratey cuff boots with the little skulls on them. I love the expression with the hands. He's on a really nice buck with these chunky, thick legs. He looks powerful. You get into some fun poses. This might be my favorite Spawn figure. I just, it's sleek. There's a lot of the sculpt work or the points where the body is separated is hidden. Of course, the diaper trunks cover, you know, anything there. The belt covers anything in the waist. And the torso cut is really tight to the body. Really nice. Really elegant. I really like this action figure. What do you think, Todd? How did I do? Pretty cool? Pretty cool. As always, take care, have fun. Let me know what you think. Please leave a comment. I mean, I could have went on for another hour, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. And I just, it's almost overwhelming when you think about 30 years of collecting from the same man. Wow. See you later, guys.
Woo! Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah!